we're moving into the next phase of this. I have the 5th gear removed, and I'll show that to you in a little bit, but this here is a spacer. I'll show you exactly where this goes, that I'm gonna probably just replace. There's a lot of rust on it here, and you can see here that there's 2 grooves where the seal rides on. Let me grab it. This is the old seal that holds on the main bearing, and the spacer main bearing is on this side over here, and the spacer goes through this, and then the sprocket that runs the belt on the Harley anyway, or a chain on some Harleys and then motorcycle, it rides along this here, and the main shaft spins. So what happens is, this happens on the Ford and many vehicles, is that the rubber, you wouldn't think it, but starts creating a ridge and eating into the surface area that it rides on. I did this on my Ford recently when I had the rear back brake, the rear axle spindle all screwed up. And it's easier to do on an automotive because you can put a speedy sleeve right over the shaft and create a new surface that won't leak. So this is the bearing I pushed out yesterday. It goes in there. So today we're gonna at least get this all prepped up for to be pressed back in, and get the 5th gear pressed back in, and hopefully that will get me along the road to doing the shafts probably this weekend. This right here is the 5th gear that I pushed out yesterday, and in it, it's got 2 needle bearings. There's one right here, see right here on top. I pushed out the other one yesterday. This is the tool that puts them back together again. So the plan for today is to get the needle bearings reseated in there, so we can put the new main bearing in, and then press this back in. And that way everything will be pretty much ready for the shaft to go in when I get to it, which is of course under here still from when I removed it. So got one thing to do here probably. There's a seal on this whole I don't know what you call it, shifter mechanism, and I'm probably gonna just move all this out and replace the seal, so everything is gonna be brand new on this baby. And I hope that lasts a very long time. All right. Next thing you see will hopefully be the bearings being pushed back in, and they're in the freezer because, as I said before, we believe in science. All right. One thing about the service manual is on the 5th gear, there's the needle bearings sit in there. There's 2 of them. And they don't tell you how to get them out, so you kind of have to sit it on here and use a punch and be very careful, especially if you don't have a brass drift, because you don't want the inside here to be scored or marred up in any way. And I was pretty successful in that. Everything looks pretty good inside there. So now we're going to press them in. Okay, I've just got these out of the freezer, and they go. These are made in the USA, actually. I couldn't believe I found them. These are original Harley parts. And first one goes in using this side. While we listen to Tyler Childers here, and these things are kind of an art, man. You got to be right on the money with them, because if you don't, bad things happen. can ruin your bearing and the whole damn thing. And what will happen is the tool will set this so you set it right at the right depth. And when it bottoms out, you're done. And we're almost there. There we go. That's it. Now what happens is there's a little seal I've got on top of here. It goes in here, like so. You turn this tool over, and it sets the seal right in there at the right depth. But I'm not going to do that right now. This is the old seal here. We're going to flip it over, and we're going to install the other bearing. Before we do that, let's make sure. Oh yeah, this baby runs. Got to make sure that the bearings are free to roll, and these babies are free to roll. There's a little lip on the 5th gear here. You cannot have the, what do you call here on the apron, the pressing platform on this lip. It's got to be on the gear only. So if you do that, you're going to ruin some crap. So next, bearing. And let her side up. Flip the tool over on this one. It goes in a particular depth, just like the last one. Okay, once again. That guy just does not want to stay in there straight. Gotta go real slow here. We're not straight. There we go. Okay. Almost there. There we go. She bottomed out. Bring it up. Tool out. And there's your other bearing. Nice and rolly. Beauty, baby. Beautiful. Now the seal, and then we're pretty much done with the 5th gear, and we can press it back in, which I probably will not do until tomorrow. So this can sit right on the apron here. And grab the new seal. You should always compare, by the way, the new seal with the old seal to make sure you're doing what you need to do. Now this is going to be actually quite easy to put in. It's really not a tight fit in here. Matter of fact, no, I thought I could put it in by my hand. Some you can. Maybe if I would have froze it, I could. But this is the easiest part of all, but it's the last part. So, That's it. And there we go. New seal is in. Sucked right up against the bearing there, which is right on.
Hey, we down here for a good time, all lonesome me. And we get sad and happy with the country music. That's part of what it helps us
And
do.
that's it.
Right,
okay, the main shaft bearing's about ready to be pressed in. These things here have to be aligned exactly right. There's another one that's bigger than this one on the inside. And it's got to be in the right spot, because if it's not, what you can potentially do is crack the case. That would be the transmission case. And if you crack the transmission case, well, you know, it's just kind of all over, and you're gonna have to find a new transmission case, to be honest. So the problem is, of course, with the system I have here, I have a universal sleeve press fit system here, and it is metric. I hate metric. I cannot tell you how much I hate metric. But that's why I don't have a wrench big enough. That'd be a box end wrench big enough. So now, the neat thing about this here is that they have little windows on top of them, and I can see the clutch going in, or the bearing going in, for the main shaft. So we're just gonna really slowly turn this baby in. Tell you what, freezing these bearings is really supreme, because they go in a lot easier, and then you just let them sit and they expand and they set into the press fit tight. I need to check the other side, because on the other side there's a lip, and it's another one of those things. You crack that lip, you got to get a whole new transmission case. We're almost there. That should be it right there. I think I felt resistance. Check again real quick. There we go. That's it. You can feel it when it hits. So that's it. There we go. Oh yeah, we're looking good. So there you go. New main bearing is pressed in, and everything's good to go.